Right, for this routine, we're going to open up with an exercise called a thruster. A thruster is simply a squat with a push press. So you're going to use your legs to get the bell overhead to a good locked out position. So we're going to do this on each side of the body. You'll clean and rack your kettlebell. Make sure your wrist is nice and straight all the way to the elbow. When you drop into your squat, it's perfectly fine to bring your other hand across to prevent your elbow from separating from your rib cage when you drop into your squat. But otherwise, if you're not going to use your hand, just make sure that that elbow stays tight to your ribs. You want to inhale through your nose when you sit down into it, and then exhale through the lips as you come up with it. One of the main benefits with this is the ball of the kettlebell, pulling your arm back into good alignment, good posture. A lot of people have trouble pressing the kettlebell out front or pressing in front in general, and the kettlebell and the weight of it really helps to put your shoulder in a good position at the top of each lockout. So we're going to inhale into it, exhale up. We're going to do that on both sides of the body. So after your 30 seconds or whatever time amount you go, inhale into it, exhale up and out of it. So promote some good mobility and good cardio on that one. Bell's going to go right in between your feet. We're going to drop out to a push-up position. So you can always do push-ups here if you want, or you can just walk out to your tall plank or push-up position. We're going to walk back to a squat hold, and we're going to row the kettlebell on each side. So exhale through your row, inhale through your lowering, go back into another walkout. You can always add some good push-ups. Just make sure your lower back doesn't sag and your legs stay tight on those. We can always get a good hamstring stretch getting in and out of those walkouts as well. After that, we're going to do a body weight exercise called a Gladiator raise. It's really just a side plank, but when we raise it up, we call it a Gladiator position. One thing that you really want to do is make sure as you lift your hip up, your shoulder will change from over top of the hand to slightly inside. So if you start with your hand way out, it's going to put a lot of stress on your shoulder, and you're not going to be able to get up as high as you could. So bottom line, just make sure your hand stays close to your hip on these. It's okay to roll. We're just trying to roll your top shoulder through the top of the motion. We just want to make sure that we can contract to our bottom side of our trunk or our obliques and get a nice stretch to the bottom of that. So you're going to do both sides, Gladiator raises. You can stagger your feet. You just want to make sure you're stable through your shoulder and getting some good flexion to the bottom side of your obliques. After our Gladiator raise, go ahead and get a heavier kettlebell. I'm going to do a Goblet Squat. So bell's going to start right in between your feet, two-handed clean, clamp nice and tight. So we grip on the side of the kettlebell, clamp nice and tight with your forearms, keep your chest back, everything up top, keep it engaged. You want to inhale into it, get your hips below your knees the best that you can. Exhale up and out of it. Inhale in, exhale up. After our goblet squats, we're going to line the ground, do a chest press, known as a line press. So make sure your hand is all the way into the kettlebell. Wrist, once again, nice and straight. Whenever we're pressing, we want to stay away from this bent wrist position and always keep the punching knuckles lined up with the ceiling. Feet to that, tailbone pushing the ground. Inhale in, tap your elbow, exhale out, squeeze your tricep, your chest, the whole abdominal wall. Push your body away from the press. Inhale in, exhale up and out. You can get a little shoulder lift, add a little more tension on your abdominals. Just make sure you check your low back. So to switch sides, we'll take it around the top of the head, and I'll do our line press on the other side. After that, we're going to do a seated twist. So we want to maintain a nice, tall posture on this. And you really, if you do these correctly, you don't need to use weight to do a seated twist. But it is helpful to get an anchor. Two kettlebells make nice anchors, but also a heavier kettlebell gives you something to squeeze inward on to help keep your legs tight, to help keep your posture. So this is the posture that we want. This is what we want to stay away from. So holding nice and tall, rotate your upper body, your head, your shoulders, all as far as you can go. So maintain good back and posture, good back position and posture when you're doing those seated twists. After that, we're going to stand up, get a manageable weight, anywhere from 26 to 35 pounds is pretty manageable for most men. And we're going to have the bell in the front, and we're going to have one hand switch behind your back. Okay, so if we start with both hands on it, It makes the blind pass behind your back a lot easier. So both hands are in the bends. We keep our legs nice and tight. Inhale, pass. Exhale to your pause. So here's your palm stop. So you're passing it around your body into a good solid palm stop. So accelerate through the pass. Inhale, exhale. So adjustments you can make. You can widen your feet out to give yourself a little more stability. To make it a little more challenging, if this is easy for you, just bring your feet together, but make sure that our elbows straighten out, and we use a nice fast speed and a good lockout through each pause. After that, we're going to hold the kettlebell by the ball, handle down. We're going to hold a squat position. Hamstrings are parallel to the ground. Elbows open up all the way. Squeeze the ball in the kettlebell back into your curl position. So we're not just hitting the biceps with these because of hand position. We're going to get a lot more chest, a lot more lat, a lot more tricep just from opening up the palms. So more of a crush grip on those. From there, we're going to go to a kneeling swing. So if your left knee is up, that indicates that your left hand will have the kettlebell. So we always want to maintain alignment of the kettlebell, the ball, the fist. The bell's out in front. We load up by getting our hip back. Hike your bell high into your hips. Fire your hips into it and maintain alignment. Good breathing. This really helps you identify the timing. It helps you identify how high the wrist should be in your hips. If the wrist is too low, bell hits the ground. It's just reduces you to a kneeling base so you can identify the swing and the hinging and driving through the hip. You should really feel this in the glute of the knee down side. So make sure you're doing both sides on that. Have a good start, because that sets you up for the rest of your swings. And good exhales through that. And then we'll finish up with some Hindu push-ups. Do a lot of these, great for the spine. We have close hands, we have wide feet. We want to get our heels down when our hips are up. Here's where we also want to inhale. And you can bend the elbows or you can keep them straight and just drop your hips. But here's the other end range where we want to exhale. Lift the chin, stretch out the whole front sides. Inhale, scoop down or just inch through the elbow or through the shoulders. Exhale up. So that is going to be our 10 exercise circuit for this video.